I said this show getting good, good. It's getting good, good. I said this show is getting good, good. It's getting good, good. I said this show getting good, 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 good. I said this show getting good, good, good. Yo, straight up, this show is good. I enjoy it a lot, a whole lot, a whole lot. So, late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bring that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, oh yeah, coming with another wonderful episode of Late Night Live on screen, doing our thing, holding it down for the one, the only, the Mandalorian. Before I get started, want to give a big shout out to RVA. That's what Richmond. That's my town. Give a big shout out to people that were in the chat on the last joint. We had Eon 001, had Corey Toombs up in there, had Panda in the house. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to Christmas 808. Big shout out to Thought Crimes because they keep it crazy over there. Big shout out to NERDSoul Gaming. So you know what I'm saying. Big shout out to Arcatron who's doing this thing. Got an album coming soon. The Space Bridge. Also big shout out to C Brown who holds it down on all kinds of stuff as well for NERDSoul Gaming. It's cool to give them shout outs out there. Feeling good. Much love to all y'all. But we got a show to talk about. That's right. The Mandalorian episode 3 or chapter 3, The Sin. I like this. Man, this show is a great addition to the lore of Star Wars in general. There is so much that we had missed from not being able to put a lens on the kind of like the outer rim criminal territories like the Hutts, the bounty hunters, stuff like this. Now I know we're only following one person right now, but this even in their like general conversations, we're opening up the doors to many other possibilities and stuff that we just don't get to touch on a lot when it comes to movies because movies are short. You only got 2 hours. With long form storytelling, like whether it's Star Wars Rebels or Star Wars Clone Wars, you get to invest in more. Like for instance, I know the timing is wrong for this show, but I would love to see maybe another Cad Bane type character because Cad Bane was dope. God, he was dope. But anyway, let's talk about this episode. Your boy feeling good. Your boy come back. He like, yo, I got the quarry, bringing it back, minding my business. I'm getting my money. You know what I'm saying? Turn it in. Here, take the baby. And then like, he get all that Beskar. It was all piled up. But he like, what you gonna do with that baby? He like, don't worry about what I'm about to do with this baby. All right? You are a hired hand. Your hand was hired, and now our business is done. Don't ask. No questions. Once again, don't ask. No questions. Don't ask. No questions. But it stuck with him, and it bothered him because we see the flashbacks, and we know that he was a foundling, and sort of. I mean, Baby Yo is a foundling. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his parents weren't there. He didn't get raised by his parents. He already feels a kinship, and he takes the Beskar. He like, yo, I'm gonna get my suit up and all that, get my physicals up, and then he thinking about, yo, man, when I was a youngster, I had no one else looking for me. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the people that found me, I don't know where I'd be. But who gonna look out for this baby? Gots to be me. It's got to be me. So, just seeing that emotion wear on him, even through the helmet, is something that works well, man. It works well in this show in a very good way. And another thing that I dug about this episode is seeing the camaraderie or the friction in the remaining tribes of Mandalore. You know, he comes in, he has the best scar, and there's other people kind of, you know, they're kind of like, yo, this dude dealing with people that we ain't supposed to be dealing with no more. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, Shorty's like, yo, our strength is in the ability to survive. We have survived. You know, our numbers are starting to grow. We starting to come back, but we got to stay on the lump. We got to stay on the humbug real quick before we blow. And you know, them fighting it out and how unbothered everyone was while they fought was just something that was like, wow, wow. Like them being a warrior culture is not a joke. It's not a game, yo. Is seeing how they are literally just at the drop of a hat will fight, but then will also stop said fight and be like, you know what? You Mandalorian, I'm Mandalorian. We need to hold it down for each other. um, but that moment, those you know slight statements here and there where we don't need like a full episode on it, but the little statements about the Empire not being around, the Empire being gone, him working for the Empire, this, that, and the third, you know, them being fractured, um, provides a greater context into the show of what they've lived through and what they're surviving through. And I just like that. I also like him leveling up. You know, we've seen, you know, episode 1, 2, and now 3. You know, his armor's getting a little sweeter, and just seeing how he walks in with the new armor and how everyone looks at him differently because he, you know, of course, was able to get the quarry, and how everybody kind of pauses and looks at him. And you can see the hateration kind of like rising up off them seats. And it's something that I would not have expected at first, but I guess it does make sense because uh, so many fobs were given out. So I guess it's understandable that people would be like, man, they couldn't, you know, kind of complete it. Um, but we get a little change of heart in this episode, and we see where Carl Weathers' character is at. You know, he's like, look, we cool, but business is like, yo, you work for the guild, and your butt's supposed to do this and that, and follow these rules, and you ain't following them, so I gotta put you back in line. You know, I like moments like that. I like moments where they take a little bit of time, even though it's weird. They put so much into an episode without it seeming rushed. You know what I'm saying? We get to see back to his past again. We get to see that clone era droid, or that prequel era droid, the ones that had the fist that went down and the little bullets came. You know what I'm talking about. And then we also get a little insight into Mandalorian culture. We get to see I guess like the cantina again, and we get to see where what their ideas are on what to do with this baby when he's like spying on them at night. There's a lot that they pack into an episode without feeling too rushed, which I think is cool. Um, and when we have this change of heart, it's something that, you know, of course, we all saw coming a mile away. But the rescue, the search and rescue scene or whatever, bruh, that new weapon he got with the little pew and all that joint is dope. I want one of them joints. You know what I'm saying? You'll never know when you might be surrounded by like 6, 7 dudes, all got guns on you, and you all gotta hit the forearm, son. Yo, the fire out the arm, you know, the way he was like kind of clearing and taking dudes out. This episode was dope. His okay, his stature in the community of bounty hunters and also against these remaining troopers is it's powerful to see someone who's okay, maybe not powerful. I'm trying to okay. no, it's important for us to see a character like him be dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's sweet. He got the armor and stuff. He got the guns, all that stuff. But we see him struggle at times because when he was in, of course, when he was clearing out, it wasn't it wasn't a cakewalk for him. I mean, there were some things where he just kind of like 1-2 punch and got him out of there, but he still had to adhere to like his training and all that stuff to make that happen. He couldn't just walk in and walk out. And there was a time when the chips were down. And even though he got Baby Yo out of there, his ability to, I guess, kind of hold his own, even though he was surrounded in that corridor, shows that like this dude is really down to fight to the last bullet. Or I guess laser. You know what I mean? And we're seeing more and more about the kind of person he is. Like he's like, okay, I know I'm a bounty hunter, and I know I'm looking for someone who looks like Admiral Akbar on my next, my next puck or whatever. But I'm not afraid to do what's right, even though everybody else in the world is on some. Well, I mean, you got paid. It's all good. And he's like, no, but that's a baby. You know what I'm saying? They're going to experiment on this baby. Like, are we just going to let this baby get taken? You know what I'm saying? So I love that. I love that he did that. Also, real quick, I'll pause for the cause. Big shout out to just the set design on this. It always looks wonderful. I mean, well, it looks dirty, but wonderful, for like Star Wars, because it's supposed to look dirty. It's supposed to look living. It's supposed to look like it's got some age to it. And man, this show always looks good. So, with that said, not only do we get this search and rescue scene, which I already thought was fresh, but we get this little moment where he plays with the where Baby Yo plays with the little like lever or whatever, and it's just something cute. And even at the end when he gives it back to him, it's just cute. So it's weird. You get a chance to get like these moments in this episode or in this show where it's not just a straightforward like, oh, this is the Western go get the bad guy thing. The guy's actually learning something. I'd say it's probably a cut above your basic, spaghetti Western. This is adhering to not only so much Star Wars lore, but also expanding on it and also bringing to light new things that we never even thought about. Like the Great Purge and all this stuff. There's just so much stuff to get into that I really dig in this episode. Big shout out to Eon01. See you up in the house. Said woman of color directed that episode. Yeah, I believe it was Deborah Chow. He said, I really thought the Mando was going to leave that baby. The Mando music is already becoming iconic. Yo, the Mando music, for real, I kind of want this score, yo. I'm gonna have to hop online and get this score if it's already out. I don't know. Disney be funny when they release it. Sometimes it be out, and then sometimes they be like, you gonna have to wait till next year. So, but this score, I'm not mad at this score. Like for a television score, but once again, they, like I said, they spend a lot of money on this show. Like they are. I like the fact that they're swinging for the fences on this show. Like they're definitely going after it, taking an opportunity or taking their chances and just laying it on the line with this show. So yeah, shouts out to Deborah Child, director. Shouts out to just the set design. Shouts out to the last scene. And that's what I wanted to talk about. That final scene because on one when it started when he was surrounded, I was like, oh yeah, his Mandalorian friends are gonna come out and help him. But I like how it was paced, and for a second I was like, hold up, are they just gonna hang him out there to dry? I was like, or maybe he's gonna figure out another way, because they waited so long for them to come out. Because for a second I was like, well, maybe he's gonna do it himself because they ain't coming. And then they finally did show up, which I thought was dope. And that scene, I I understand why the Empire had to pretty much had to go after the Mandalorians, either go after them or leave them alone, because when you see when they work together, and that's not even like an army of them, that's like, I don't know, it was, I don't know, like seven, eight of them, maybe 10. I can't. They were flying around, so I couldn't count them. But with that little amount, look at how deadly they were. Like they're just so they're so well trained. They're so efficient. It's a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? You're going from people that like fight to people that their whole life is fighting. Like everything they do is the perfection of the craft of shooting or kicking or punching or chopping necks or something, whatever it is. And just to see how they were like flying around and shooting, and it was it was a beautiful catastrophe and a amazing mess down there in that little corridor, and I loved it. Mandalorian on your left, Eon 001 dropping them lines. Yeah, I for a second I was like, are they gonna come or not? Because I was like, well, maybe he has like maybe he got a grenade or something. Because I don't think they're coming. So, because at first I was like, they're gonna come and save him. And when they didn't show up, I was like, oh snap. I was like, where your boys? Where your boys? And homie was like, yo, we'll just find another place. But we got you. You know what I'm saying? We here. Deuce here. Oh man. So search and rescue scene, fresh. The little corridor fight scene was crazy. Him getting his getaway, Carl Weathers shooting him in the chest. Wow. I love this. I love the show. The first episode was basically a movie. Second episode, we got to see Baby Yo pull out no, second episode was mad funny because Jawas is like, just like, they are the Devos of the Star Wars world. They're going to steal your stuff and sell it back to you, B. All right, then episode 3, this little search and rescue scene, the corridor scene, yo, man, I'm pleased with the show. I think if this show keeps going like this, it can easily end up being um, not only a great addition to Star Wars, but one of the just as beloved as Clone Wars, if not more. Because some people lend more, I guess, credence to live action, even though is animation is a medium, not a genre. You know what I'm saying? Animation is just as you're still writing, you're still directing, it's still characters. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. But anyway, guys, holler at me. I'm gonna holler at you. Down in them comments, let's talk the Mandalorian. Still digging it. Still here. I really want to see where this Baby Yo thing goes because I got a feeling, I got a real feeling that somehow this ties into like either Rebels or something. They wouldn't show us a well, no, maybe not Rebels, but it's weird. This show, especially with Baby Yoda, this show is going to tie into something in some kind of way. Like whether it's shoot, honestly, maybe it might tie into Rise of Skywalker in some kind of way. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff that they're dropping in here, and especially the time period it's at. It's at a cool time period where you can kind of do what you need to do, and you don't have to worry too much. Especially since we're in the Outer Rim about any Republic stuff. I mean, they did mention it, but they're I don't see them worrying about the Republic or the New Republic too much. So guys, before I bounce, thanks for rolling through. Big shout out to Eon 001. Big shout out to my Patreon supporters. Much love to y'all helping build Nerd Soul. Big shout out to Curo Brand for the hat, all the gear. And don't forget to check out shop.thatnerdsoul.com. Pick yourself up like a shirt like this. I got some milestone shirts, some Krakoa shirts for X-Men, some official the basic classic Nerd Soul shirt, all that jazz. So before I bounce, Thank you for chilling. Thank you for checking out Geek Fine Art. Thank you to Dave Farrar. And of course, until next week, we are out of here. And peace. Oh, yeah. Because the Mandalorian is hot. It's hot. The Mandalorian is hot. It's hot. Hot. The Mandalorian is hot. It's hot. Come on, Mandalorian is hot. It's hot. Come on, Mandalorian is hot. They should use that, and then I'm just saying they should use that at the end.